Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Kelly, and for today's video I'm going to be doing my 2024 priority reads. I have some physical books here that I've had on my shelf for a little while now that I really want to read in 2024. And then I also made a little list on my notes app of all the books that are coming out in 2024 that I'm so excited to read. But before we get into that, I wanted to talk about my Goodreads goal going into 2024. I've honestly been thinking about this for a little while now. So my goal for this year was 100 books. I hit that. I am currently at 105 books. So I'm really super proud of myself. I've never read over 100 books in a year before, so I'm really proud of that. But I was thinking, I said to myself, do I want to add like a higher goal for myself? But then I was thinking, I don't ever want to feel like I'm forced to read. Like, I never want to say to myself, oh, I have to read. Reading for me is a hobby. It's something that I want to do, something I like to do. So I never want it to become something that feels like homework or something that feels like a chore or like a job that like I have to do. I don't have to. I like to read. So I'm honestly probably just going to keep my goal to 100 books. I was honestly even thinking about lowering it to 75. I'm probably still going to think about it in the next couple of days before the year is over. I think we have, how long do we even have before this year is over? Let's see. It's the 21st while I'm recording this. Also, if the lighting is not the best, it is nighttime. So, okay, so it's the 21st. We have like 10 days left of this year. So I'll think about it, but for now, I honestly think I'm going to keep it the same and just do 100 books. Just so I don't stress myself out about it. So yeah, that's my little tangent on that. And then I'm going to talk about the reads for the end of the year, my end of the year reading plans. So right now I am reading Kingdom of Ash, which is the last book in the Throne of Glass series. I think I have like 300-ish pages left. After I finish that, I probably am not going to want to read any more fantasy. I feel like it's going to put me in like a fantasy slump because I know Throne of Glass is probably my favorite fantasy series. No, it definitely is my favorite fantasy series. It definitely overpasses Avatar. The characters just mean everything to me. I love them. And I'm gonna be so sad when I finish Kingdom of Ash here soon because I've had the most amazing time reading these books. And yeah, so I'm really sad that that's gonna be finished with soon. After that, I was thinking about reading A Love Letter to Whiskey by Candy Steiner, but that's another thick book. I don't know if I'll have time to finish that before the year ends. We'll see. But I think I'm going to pick up Icebreaker next by Hannah Grace. And then after that, I want to continue the Darkverse series. So right now, the next book is called The Finisher. So I want to read that as well. And then maybe I'll get to the last book. We'll see. But those are my reading plans for the end of the year. And let's get into the physical books that I'm excited to read in 2024. A little priority TBR we got going on here. So the first book is Check and Mate by Ali Hazelwood. I just read Love Theoretically a couple weeks ago and I absolutely loved it. So I'm really excited to read this book. And the cover is so beautiful. Like, look at it. Look how pretty. Stunning. Her covers always are stunning. But yeah, I wanted to read this year, but I don't think I'm going to have time to do that. And I'm really excited. I feel like this will be good as like a little palette cleanser between some fantasies because it's a pretty small read. But this is her first YA romance. I've honestly heard mixed reviews, so I am kind of scared. But I love her, so I probably will love it. Next we have Lauren Asher's new series. It's called the Lakefront Billionaire series. This is the first book. I read Final Offer last month, and this book actually takes place in the same small town, so I'm really excited to read this. I've heard amazing things. People have said that this is her best book thus far, so I'm really, really, really excited to get around to read this book. And also the cover of this is absolutely stunning as well. Next we have Saving Six by Chloe Walsh. I also obviously want to read the second one, which is Redeeming Six. I just didn't feel like picking both of them up because they're such thick books. But I'm honestly still reeling from Binding and Keeping 13. Those books were so good, but also so heartbreaking. And what I know of Joey, I know that these books are going to rip my heart out. and get run over by trucks. That's what it's going to feel like to read this. I'm scared. So I've been kind of dragging it out, but I do want to get around to read this super soon. I feel like this is going to be one of my first reads of the year in 2024. So yeah, I'm super excited, but also scared. Next we have You with the View by Jessica Joyce. Can we take a minute also to appreciate these covers? All these covers are so stunning. I don't even know what this book is about, to be honest. I saw a quote on TikTok and I was like, all right, you gotta have it. So I bought it. It says, 2 former high school enemies must reunite for a road trip inspired by their grandparents' broken engagement. That actually sounds really, really good. So I'm excited. All these books, I can't wait to read. Alright, next we're going to go into some fantasy reads that I am excited to get around to reading. So first we have the Cruel Prince series. I am so shocked that I haven't read this series yet. I feel like so many people start out with this series when they start getting into fantasy. I only have the first book, but I've also heard mixed reviews on this series as well. And I think the main reason why some people don't like this is because this series was heavily mentioned as like fantasy romance, and I've heard people say that it's not. It's basically just fantasy with like a dash of romance thrown in there. And if I'm being honest with you guys, I think this is because of Throne of Glass, but if I'm reading fantasies, I'm not going into fantasies just for the romance. I'm going in for a good story. So as long as it has a good story and good characters, I feel like I will probably really enjoy it. I feel like fantasies don't have to have like a strong romance for me to want to read it, if that makes sense. But yeah, I'm excited to get into that. Next we have the Prison Healer trilogy by Lynette Noni. I think that's how you say her last name. But I've heard mixed reviews on this series as well. Sarah Crowley read this. That's why I bought it, because of her, because she loved it. But I'm excited to get into it, and they're pretty small books, so I think I will really enjoy it. It says 17-year-old Kiva, is that her name? Kiva Meriden has spent the last 10 years fighting for survival in the notorious death prison, working as a prison healer. When the rebel queen is captured, Kiva is charged with keeping the terminally ill woman alive long enough for her to undergo the trial by ordeal, a series of elemental, is that how you say that word? Oh my gosh, I don't know how to read. And I read, if that makes sense. Challenges against the torments of air, fire, water, and earth, assigned to only the most dangerous of criminals. So I guess she takes over in the trials for the woman that is ill. That sounds actually really good. So I'm excited to get into this whenever I'm ready to get back into fantasy after Throne of Glass, which I hope will be soon, because I'm honestly really loving reading fantasy, but I feel like I'm going to compare and I don't want to do that. I feel like this will actually be a perfect place to get into another fantasy series, is the Crescent City series by Sarah J. Maas. Can we take a minute? These are the exclusive covers. I didn't grab the second one, but I obviously want to read that one as well. So beautiful. I've heard amazing things. Honestly, I've heard amazing things about every one of her series, but I don't think it's going to be Throne of Glass for me. Right now my ranking is Throne of Glass, ACOTAR. I don't know if that's going to change once I read this series. But the third book comes out in January. I know I'm not going to be able to read both of these before, unless I think this will be my first read of the year. So maybe if I want to go right into the second one, then I will. We'll see. I don't know. We'll take it day by day. But I'm really excited to read this book. I've heard some people say that this is her hardest series to get into. I think it's just because I've heard people say that this takes place in normal time. Like this time there's like guns and cars and stuff. So I'm gonna have to watch like a video to explain it to me a little bit more, but I'm really excited to read this. Alright, so the last 2 fantasy books that I want to read in 2024, we have Fear the Flames by Olivia Rose Darling. Look how beautiful this cover is. And I actually bought this book because I actually saw the author post about it, and she did like a little like, you know those things on TikTok where it'll show you like the aesthetic of a book? She did that for this, and I bought it because it looks so good. I've heard amazing things about this, and I'm really excited to read it. And plus the cover is beautiful. Always a plus. Next we have Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. So I don't know, I honestly feel like I'm going to read the Shadow and Bone trilogy first, just because I feel like it'll be easier to understand this. But Sarah Crowley talks about this series a lot, and I know how much she loves it, so I probably will love it too. And a lot of people compare the main male character in this book to the female main character in Throne of Glass. So, very excited for all these books, as you can tell. Alright, the last two physical books that I have here to show you guys, I'm really scared for these. So, one of my main goals, like reading-wise, is I want to get more into dark romance because I feel like I love dark romance. It's definitely not for everybody, but the ones that I have read, I've loved. So, I bought these a while ago and I still haven't read them because I've been procrastinating because I'm scared. You'll know when you see the covers. Yep, Haunting's the first one, and Hunting Adeline by H.D. Carlton. These are very, very dark romances. I've heard, please check your trigger warnings. Please don't read these if you are under the age of 18, and just check your trigger warnings. I've heard a lot of stuff goes on through these books, and it's basically a stalker romance. So, maybe I should vlog this. Would you guys want me to vlog me reading these books? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm terrified of these books, but I've heard that you either absolutely hate these books or you absolutely love them, and Larry Reeds loves them, so I think I will love them as well. I hope I do. But yeah, let me know if I should vlog that. I think that would be a fun little reading vlog to do. And then on my Kindle, I want to get into, obviously, like I just said, I want to get into dark romance, but I downloaded the first book into Rena Kent's universe, which is The Cruel King. I actually looked up her whole reading order on her website. Guys, there's so many books. Let me show you. Okay, here it is. This is her reading order. Like, look how many books there are here. There's currently 33 books of hers in total. But I posted on my Instagram story that I wanted to read her books and I'm scared to. But people said they flew through her books and they're all like not that long. So I'm really excited to get into her universe. I've heard amazing things about her books. So yeah, those are like my main plans of books that I'm really excited to read that I own already. Obviously, I would love to read all of the books on my physical TBR. I don't think that's going to happen next year, to be honest with you. But we'll try. We'll try our hardest. Next, we have my little list here of anticipated reads for 2024. So the first one on here actually comes out this year, but I put it in here because I don't think I'm going to be reading this in 2023, obviously, because it comes out the day after Christmas. And I don't know if I'm going to. We'll see. But it is Ruthless Vows by Rebecca Ross. This is the second book in the... Is there a name for this series? I don't know if there is, but it's following Divine Rivals. And I think it's just going to be those two books. Like, I think it's just a duet. I'm pretty sure. I think that's what she said. Quote me if I'm wrong. I don't know. But I'm really excited to read this. I loved Divine Rivals and the cliffhanger that book left me in. I'm so excited to get around to it. I feel like it will be one of my first few reads of 2024. But I just don't think I'm going to be reading it this year. Next we have Crescent City 3. I put this on here anyways because once I read the first two, I know I'm going to be dying to read the third one. So I put that one on here as well. Then we have Bride by Ali Hazelwood. This is Ali Hazelwood's first... I don't know, is it fantasy? I gotta look that up. Let's see. Oh, it's a paranormal romance. So it says, a dangerous alliance between a vampire bride and an alpha werewolf becomes a love deep enough to sink your teeth into this new paranormal romance. Sounds really good. I'm really excited. Next we have probably my most anticipated read for 2024. Funny Story by Emily Henry. I love Emily Henry. I will literally read her grocery list. That's how much I love her books. Every single one of them has probably been above a 4-star read for me. Beach Read and Happy Place are my favorites by her, but I'm so excited to read this book. I actually applied for an ARC of this book. I didn't get an email back, so I'm assuming I got denied, but I will still be one of the first people to read this book when it comes out. I'm so excited. Next we have Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. I read 2 books from her so far. I gotta get into her other I know she has other books that I need to read, but the cover is beautiful and I'm excited to read it. I feel like it'll be like I feel like it'll be a nice summer read. Next we have Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood. Like I said, I love Ali Hazelwood. Ali Hazelwood and Emily Henry, I would read their grocery lists. I would. I love their writing. I love them. Queens. Next we have probably my most anticipated read. It's probably tied with Funny Story by Emily Henry, but we have Reckless by Lauren Roberts. This is the second book from Powerless, and I think about Powerless every single day. I feel like it's one of my Roman Empire books. So good. I need to know what's going to happen next. Kai and Peyton, I miss them. Come back to me soon. Also, Lauren Roberts, if there's any chance that you're watching this video, and when you're done, if you want to slide me over the arc, I would really enjoy that. Next we have Taming Seven by Chloe Walsh. This is Claire and Gibbsie's book. I already know that Claire and Gibbsie are going to be my favorite couple. I already know. I'm telling you guys right now. I'm so excited for this book. I need it now. I need it right this second. Because the crumbs that we got from them, and we're probably going to get more crumbs in Saving and Redeeming 6, I'm assuming. But the Claire and Gibbsie crumbs that we get in those books, so good. I'm so excited for their story. I honestly feel like their story is going to be not the saddest, but I feel like their story is going to be sad. I feel like all the stories in this universe are going to break my heart. Next we have Dishonestly Yours by Krista and Becca Ritchie. So they actually wrote my favorite series ever, which is the Addicted Calloway Sisters series. And I believe this is their new like mafia romance series. How many times can I say that word, series? Take a shot every time I say series. You're blacked out. You're drunk. Anyways, I love their writing. I love them. So I already know I'm going to love this book. And the cover is absolutely stunning. Next we have This Could Be Us by Kennedy Ryan. This is the second book from Before I Let Go. And I don't know what character this one is following, but I loved that book. I actually want to reread that book soon. So I'm really excited for that one as well. Next we have, this book actually got released a couple days ago that this book is coming out next year. It is a novel love story by Ashley Poston. She actually wrote the Dead Romantics and the 7-Year Slip, which is one of my favorite books of this year that I've read. I absolutely love her writing. She's another one of those authors that I ought to buy author, I would read her grocery list. I'm really excited for this book as well. I already know I'm gonna love it. Okay, this one I'm really scared for. So we have the last book in the Magnolia Park series. So we have Magnolia Parks in the Dark. That's kind of a tongue twister. I'm kind of scared. Like, remembering how the last Magnolia Parks book left off. I'm terrified. I'm terrified. Okay. So we have, I put this one in here. I know I haven't read Icebreaker yet or her second book, but we have Daydream by Hannah Grace. And like I said, I want to read Icebreaker before the end of the year, and then maybe I'll read Wildfire in January. We'll see. But yeah, I'm really excited to get into her book, so that's why I included it here. Okay, this one. So we have The Housemaid is Watching by Frida McFadden. So I read The Housemaid and The Housemaid's Secret, and I absolutely devoured those books. I love Frida McFadden's writing. I love the way that she writes thrillers. So I'm really excited to read this book. Okay. The next one is Wild Love by Elsie Silver. I devoured her Chestnut Springs series, so I'm really excited to get into more of her books. I actually want to read her other series. I can't think of the name of it, but I want to read that one as well in 2024. And then we have Play Along by Liz Tomford. This is the 4th book in the Windy City series. I still have to read Caught Up, so there's that. Excuse me. And then the last one I have here, I actually added this one last night because I saw Larry talk about it. But we have Tangled Up in You by Christina Lauren. So I read a couple of Christina Lauren's books. So we have Love and Other Words. Then I read The Unhoneymooners. Ignore me. And then what's the other one? I think it's Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating. I think that's it. And I actually really liked all of those books, so I'm really excited to read this one. I think this is like a Tangled retelling, so I'm really excited to read it, and the cover is absolutely stunning. There's a pattern here, guys. But yeah, those are all the books that I wrote down for my anticipated reads. I'm sure I'm probably forgetting some, or some aren't released yet. But yeah, that's it for this video. This video is all over the place. I never know how to speak. There's a lot of chaos that always goes on in my videos. But I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Let me know in the comments what reads you guys are the most excited for in 2024. And yeah, that's it for me. I'll see you guys really soon in my next video. Bye, guys.